Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of United Talks Podcast. And today we are going to be talking about, Marcus Rashford's statement with regards to being the reasons why he was inconsistent at Manchester United, and a few other things that went on the ground and all of that. But yeah, he gave an interview to ITV. Marcus Rashford being on loan at Barcelona, he opened up about the things that have gone on at Man United, his instability, and how it affected his consistency over the years. Rashford said that since Sir Alex Ferguson retired in 2013, the inconsistent managerial changes, dressing room turnover, and lack of long-term vision have all impacted players' ability to thrive. Meanwhile, in Spain, Rashford is rediscovering his form with 3 goals and 5 assists in 10 games under Hansi Flick, a clear contrast to his struggles at Old Trafford. And in this video, we're definitely going to just kind of react to his comments and ask a question. Was he right to blame United's chaos, or is he shifting responsibility? So we're going to discuss this and what it means for his future and whether Barcelona should make the move for a permanent move of 30 million euros. But before that, we're going to talk about the transfer news. And then once we talk about the transfer news, then we will now talk about what Rashford said. So Barcelona have come out to say that they will try to trigger Rashford's purchase option. He rediscovered his form since leaving Manchester United in this summer to Barcelona on a season-long loan, and he has since he was once considered the next big thing to emerge from quarantine, but his fortunes took a turn following Ruben Amorim's arrival in November, and Rashford actually scored the first goal for the Portuguese head coach in his tenure in a 1-1 draw against Ipswich Town. But things soon turned sour between him and Amorim. The 27-year-old was removed from the first team squad and went down to join Aston Villa on loan in January this year. Barcelona were also linked with the player in the winter, but ultimately secured his service in the summer on a temporary deal. The Catalans are also already reaping the rewards of putting their faith in the Englishman. Now, basically, the question about the new lease of life for Hansi Flick is basically on the cards. Rashford has seen remarkable difference and has been a changed man since his dream move to La Liga, showcasing qualities that once made him one of Europe's most feared forwards. The Englishman has already scored 3 goals and set up 5 more from 10 games in all competitions, 7 of which have been starts, and he has taken to Hansi Flick's tactics like a fish to water and has been working extremely hard on the pitch as well. That's what it looks like. But Barcelona wants Rashford to stay, and that is according to the Sun. We talked about it in the live stream when we talked about other things, but just go watch it and let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. But according to Barcelona, according to the Sun, that Barcelona are ecstatic with Rashford's performance and are ready to sign him permanently in 2026. United inserted a £30 million release and purchase option on loan in the loan deal, which includes a 25 million upfront fee and a further 5 million in add-ons. The Premier League giants will also be entitled to a sell-on fee. The report also adds that the Catalans were initially wary of signing Rashford on loan, believing that the Red Devils were letting the player go because he was something. There was something amiss. However, those fears have been dissipated thanks to an explosive start to Camp Nou. Now, a source told the Sun that Barcelona had an issue with signing Marcus Rashford initially, which was the club's financial situation and all of that. Now, that is basically in Barcelona willing to sign Marcus Rashford. Now, with what Marcus Rashford said, we'll analyze it from this article and then analyze it from another article from Football 365. So, just to give you a bit of a summary of what happened, and then we'll analyze it from the article. The England forward Marcus Rashford, on loan at Barcelona since 2025 July, has credited his career inconsistencies, just the overall career inconsistency at Manchester United, to the instability at Man United following Sir Alex Ferguson's 2013 retirement, including multiple managerial changes. In an ITV interview, he described the environment as hindering his consistency while thriving in Spain with 3 goals and 5 assists in 10 games. Barcelona holds a £30 million option to buy him permanently. amid mixed fan reactions in his comments. Now, we'll talk about Marcus Rashford rediscovering his form and all that, but this was Marcus Rashford's claim. Ahead of England's qualifier against Latvia on Tuesday, Rashford was asked by ITV via the Daily Mail about Tuchel's state assessment. Rashford replied, "To be sure, consistency is a massive part of it. I feel like I have been in an inconsistent environment for a very long time, so it's even more difficult to be consistent. But I completely agree. I think consistency is what I need to bring into my game, and I am looking to do that." That's the main statement that's triggered everybody. And yeah, we can quite understand. I mean, I've done an extensive analysis on this about Manchester United and the problems and the pressure that comes with the club. It's not just only about the environment. It's also about what is constituting as the environment. So we could talk about multiple things. We could talk about different factors. I analyzed it in that live stream. I'm going to do a specific video about the Manchester United pressure and why players don't thrive at United and all of that. Now, Rashford said further, "I want to be at my best, not sometimes, but as often as possible." When people talk about consistency, in order to be consistent in anything, not just sport, you need consistent variables in your life and in the way you train. We just had so many changes so far in my career, but I have to look forward with that, and that is definitely one of the things I want to put right and to improve on, to be my best more often. When I am at my best, I really enjoy everything in sport. Yeah. Meanwhile, United are back in action on Sunday at Anfield. So that is pretty much what Rashford said. But we're going to talk about what Football 365, how Football 365 presented it, and then we'll wrap it up. In 15 damning words, a rejuvenated Marcus Rashford summed up the reason for his and almost all others' inability to maintain peak performance levels at Manchester United, and why Sir Jim Ratcliffe is clinging to the increasingly false hope of Ruben Amorim turning things around at Old Trafford. We see how Marcus Rashford's statement, and then they just kind of linked it to Ruben Amorim and just... So, might as well just name this video Media Bias, but Rashford slams Man United. So, Rashford now, they talk about his stats and all that. They talk about his history with regards to him scoring 43 goals and 22 assists across 2 seasons under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as well as him being linked with the 100 million move abroad, 30 goals in all competitions under Erik ten Hag in 2023, and then also his 26 million pounds move to make this loan deal permanent. And then Rashford, he talked about his stats this season, as I just read out to you. He now said, "I feel," and that is the word they're going to hold on to, "I feel like I have been in an inconsistent environment for a very long time." Now, this is the word we're going to answer with regards to what we think about it, but this is what he said. He was asked, obviously, like I just read out to you, but he says, "I completely agreed. I think inconsistency is what I need to bring my game to where I'm looking and I'm looking to do that. We just had so many changes for far too long in my career, blah, blah, blah. When I'm at my best, I really enjoy everything about the sport." And that's what it is. So pretty much everything he said. And then they kind of found a way to link it to Ruben Amorim, which I'm not going to read because it's unimportant. Now, Ruben Amorim obviously is a coach of Manchester United, or head coach of Manchester United, and had issues with Marcus Rashford. Now, if you look at this headline, I'm not supposed to analyze how Man United is reported, but you look at the headline, you say, "And why Sir Jim Ratcliffe is clinging to increasingly false hope of Ruben Amorim turning things around at Old Trafford." Now, I can understand that the common factor in this whole thing is the environment, but Sir Jim Ratcliffe clinging to increasingly false hope, does that not contradict what Marcus Rashford is saying? Marcus Rashford said, "An inconsistent environment and consistent changes in managers led to my inconsistent performance." And then Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants a consistent environment by having a consistent manager, But these guys are saying he's clinging to false hope. So it's all, you know, play with words. But I mean, we will see through this, and it's pretty obvious and straightforward what they plan to achieve by putting that out there. But it is what it is. So Marcus Rashford slams Man United. It's a well-known fact that we've had a couple of issues at United, and those issues are the things that are making us, or that have put us where we are right now. I mean, there are so many things. I've talked about this. Talked about multiple times. I did a Manchester United performance analysis, and I talked about three things that were the four things were the problem, and three ways we can solve the problem. The three ways that I brought, three solutions, which I'll do in another video, like proper in-depth and stuff, is to implement a strategic cohesion, which is what I said, that there needs to be the same tactical blueprint across all teams in Manchester United. And then recruitment strategy must improve, especially with regards to fundamental recruitment, and especially with overhauls as well, to ensure that every single acquisition is strategically vetted. And then I said another thing that Man United can do, which is the number two thing, is to uphold elite performance support standards. And then the last thing I said was to develop psychological resilience protocols, which will help. The truth is, the inconsistent environment is not also due to Manchester United. It's also due to a couple of factors that affect Manchester United, including the media and the way they report things. But it is what it is. They're going to come out and say that Manchester United is the problem, but they are also the problem, because it's Manchester United and they report about Manchester United. So we could go on and on and on and on and talk about that. But obviously, maybe because Marcus Rashford has a... Maybe he was being honest there, and then they took it out and blew it out of context. But he himself should know to report. I'm not trying to cover that Manchester United are not culpable, or with the last... I mean, look at the guy. He's been under several managers. He came under Van Gaal. He's been under Mourinho. He's been under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Ralf Rangnick, Erik ten Hag, now Ruben Amorim. So he's been under all these managers, and during his time with these managers, he played under these managers, under multiple systems, under different systems, different formations, different deployments for him, and all of that. So I can totally understand if he's feeling like he's been in an inconsistent environment. There's no consistency. I mean, since Sir Alex Ferguson, we have not had a manager that has lasted more than 2 years. So that's the problem. So it is what it is. We have to just kind of move on from it and accept it. If he's moving, he should move. If he's staying, I don't think he's going to have a chance to stay unless there's another manager and Amorim is sacked, and then he can now move on and come back to Man United. But the question is, will he come back to Man United? I don't think so. But it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. I just thought to bring this to you. But let me know what you think. Was Rashford right in his assessment? I believe he was. What do you guys think? He was right in assessment, but it's not all on Manchester United. It's an overarching issue of everything that surrounds Manchester United. But let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Take care. Goodbye, and God bless.